follow these major developing stories and many more, all coming in right here to CNN News Central. We start this hour with breaking news out of the Federal Reserve. The central bank making its first decision on interest rates under new chair Kevin Warsh. CNN's Matt Egan is standing by the Fed's main office here in D.C. So, Matt, what did the board decide?
Boris, no change in rates. The Federal Reserve announcing just moments ago that for the fourth meeting in a row, they are keeping interest rates steady. Now, this might come as a surprise to some because, yes, the Fed is under new management. Fed Chairman Kevin Warsh, he, of course, was selected by President Trump, who's made no secret of his desire for dramatically lower interest rates. However, this is not something that Warsh can decide unilaterally. The Fed makes these decisions by a committee. And ironically, that committee is now signaling that the next move may not be an interest rate cut. It may be an interest rate hike, because new projections that were just issued by the Fed, they are now signaling a potential quarter-point interest rate hike by the end of this year. Now, that is a major shift from the last time they issued projections back in March. At that time, Fed officials were penciling one interest rate cut. What's changed since then? Well, the biggest thing, of course, that has changed is the fact that the war continues to go on, and that has pushed up energy prices and inflation. Now, I should note that these new projections on interest rates from the Fed, known as the dot plot, they are missing one vote. Normally, there's 19 officials that pencil in where they think interest rates are going. This time, there's one dot that is missing, and we don't know whose that is because this is done anonymously. But Fed watchers had suspected that Kevin Warsh, he may opt not to participate because he has not been a fan of the dot plot and issuing forward guidance. Perhaps we'll get some more clarity on that later on today when Warsh takes questions from reporters. Now, the other changes here were the economic projections. The Fed made significant changes. First, they slightly downgraded their projections for GDP growth this year. That likely reflects the impact of the war. The unemployment rate was slightly lowered. However, the bigger changes came for inflation. The Fed is now penciling in 3.6% inflation from PCE. That's the Fed's preferred gauge. That, of course, reflects the impact from the war and higher energy prices as well. Now, the Fed also made sweeping changes to the statement that it issues each meeting. This was a major revamp. It's almost unrecognizable from the last statement. The statement says that economic activity is expanding at a solid pace despite elevated uncertainty that owes in part to the conflict in the Middle East. The Fed goes on to say that productivity growth and capital investment are strong and that job gains have kept pace with the workforce. Lastly, the Fed added this new line where they say the committee will deliver price stability. One other point here is I should note that this was a 12-0 vote. So this was a unanimous decision, unlike the last one from the Fed. So here in Kevin Warsh's first meeting as chairman, the Fed is delivering a bit of unity here in terms of their message. Boris?
And Matt, as you're speaking, we're looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and you can see that right at 2 o'clock when this announcement was made, there was a bit of a dip in the Dow, very modest one. It is slightly down, even though the context, of course, the Dow Jones hitting record highs as of late. Matt, I wonder how this tentative agreement between the U.S. and Iran might impact future decisions on interest rates. As you've outlined there, it does have an impact on inflation.
Yeah, absolutely, Boris. I do think that's one of the biggest questions that we can expect Warsh will face later this hour when he conducts his first press conference as chairman. The U.S.-Iran framework, it, of course, has caused oil prices to plummet in recent days. And really just the rumor of the deal in the last few weeks has sent oil prices down. That has lowered gasoline prices. So that's going to have an impact on inflation readings going forward. It also has an impact on inflation expectations. So that's a question for Warsh, whether or not the fact that